you are still allowed joy. You are still allowed to have fun, hang out. You are still allowed to do the work that you are called to do without feeling some sort of guilt that you have not paused your entire life to lay on the feet of this political crap show that we are all experiencing. This is one of those episodes where I do not have a bow to put on it. It feels like every time we open up our phones, there is a headline, another argument, another comment section fight going on. There's all the things that are happening in our larger world, and if you have been feeling more reactive, more tired, more too turned on to the things, you are not by yourself. What a lot of people are calling stress right now is actually a threat response. When the world feels unstable, our nervous system stays on high alert, meaning it thinks and feels like there is a threat right around the corner all the time. And compassion is hard when we're really just trying to exist and keep our heads above water. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Brown Heart Wellness Podcast. I'm Samantha Edu. This space is for brave conversations, soft landings, and honest reflection about what it means to lead yourself well. And listen, I know it's a lot going on. The news is heavy, conversations are tense, it always feels like something on fire. And at the same time, I don't want us to lose ourselves in that. There are people, including myself, who have felt like, wow, I shouldn't be why am I putting out this podcast content? Why am I putting out this funny content about something fun I did over the weekend when all of this stuff is happening in real time? No, now is the time for us to really lean into the dialectic, the both and, right? We are still allowed to be compassionate people. We're still allowed to experience joy. We're still allowed to laugh, rest, take care of ourselves. We are still allowed to do the work that we were called to do. We're still allowed to do those things. This episode is about how we hold both, how we stay aware without being consumed, how we stay engaged without burning ourselves out, and how self compassion is not checking out. It's how we're going to stay steady, how we're going to stay grounded. So, today we're talking about what it looks like to lead yourself with care, even when things feel messy, loud, all the things. Our Bronhard affirmation today: I can be honest about what's happening without abandoning myself. I can choose impact that does not cost me my humanity. Take a breath. Now let's get into it. I want to name the obvious. The political climate right now is loud, it's polarizing, it's exhausting. There are so many distractions that are happening to pull you from other bigger things that are happening. We are watching a dismantling of so many systems and not the systems we need to see dismantled. We're watching fights over government function, rights, policy. It's hitting people's nervous systems hard every day. I'm not talking about this to scare you. I'm naming these things because if we don't name what's happening, if we don't say, "Hey, I know this stuff is crazy." It feels like we are in a time warp. If we don't talk about it or name what's happening, what we're going to do is blame ourselves for feeling more irritable, feeling more tired, feeling exhausted all the time when there's a reason. The system around us is creating things to keep us that way. So we cannot do what we are called to do. So I want you to know that there is a pivot, right? You can be deeply aware of what's happening and still be deeply compassionate with yourself. I do not have to lay my life out on the line in order to prove that I'm compassionate about all of the things that are happening right now. That is how I'm going to regulate myself. I'm going to choose how and when I'm going to get involved in what's going on as a change agent. And I'm also going to choose how I'm going to lean into joy and then also share that joy out into the world without some guilt or pressure from others to be or doing things in a different way. Some people are blaming themselves for not functioning at their usual level, right? When the truth is, your nervous system has been doing overtime, literally overtime, just to keep you upright, to keep you going to work and turning in projects that you don't, maybe don't even feel aligned with, to going to your kids' school things, to still putting you in community with other people by yourself or pouring into your own marriages. Your nervous system is trying its best to do everything it can, and then you're still trying to figure out how you can be a part of holding up a piece of whatever the political downfall is happening on this fine Tuesday. At some point we have to decide how we're going to be compassionate with ourselves. The first thing that we need to do is define what self-compassion means. And I'm going to start with what it doesn't mean for me. It doesn't mean letting harm slide. It doesn't mean pretending that I'm fine all the time. It does not mean shrinking my feelings so that other people feel comfortable. What it does mean, though, is telling myself the truth without being cruel. There are some truths that aren't great, but I have to tell myself those truths without being cruel just so that I can accept it and live in a realistic dialectic. This is a truth. This is also a truth. It's treating my nervous system like it is a real thing. Like, I need you all to know we all have a nervous system that responds to threats, that needs rest, right? That needs recuperation and restoration. It's giving yourself the same patience you would give somebody that you love. So now that we have our definition of self compassion, I want you to flow with me through the root framework to ground you in that definition. Ask yourself, what is this season doing to my body? We're going to reflect first. What is this season doing to my body? Not my thoughts, not my emotions, my body. Am I feeling clenched all day? Am I doom scrolling more? Am I sleeping but not resting? Really asking yourself, what are you feeling in your body? Just noticing. The next part of that framework, using your definition of self compassion, is being open. If you are more open, what would support look like if I stop pretending that I'm fine? I got it bad saying, ooh, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm good. Then you have some good people in your life who are gonna be like, "Girl, you not good," but that's okay if that's what you wanna say. What would support look like? So, maybe it's having fewer online conversations and more voice notes with the people you love. Y'all, there is nothing I love more than voice notes with my bestie. We have the best voice notes, okay? And it's so much fun. So instead of scrolling, send the bestie a voice note. Nothing too crazy because it's early. What else would support look like? Maybe therapy, maybe prayer group, movement, boundaries. How can you be honest with yourself about what you need and what do you need to be open to? And then overcoming the lies. Overcoming the lies. When we are thinking about self compassion, there are some blockers there that keep us from being compassionate with ourselves to a certain extent. So if I believe that I don't get to rest until I've done all the things, right? I gotta go to burnout. Kind of like sometimes when I had a personal trainer one time and they like, you go to exhaustion, go to the till you can't move no more. And I've always thought that that was right. Like that was what you do. You go till you can't go anymore, and then you go on a week vacation, and then you come back and you start back over. No, No, overcome the lie. So you take a moment in your reflections and start to think about what are the lies that I've been told. One, rest doesn't make you lazy. Compassion does not erase your calling. So being compassionate with yourself and saying, whew, I don't have it in me to do this thing right now. I need a moment to get creative again. That does not erase your calling. It actually gives you more opportunity to listen, hear if there's something else you should be doing or adding to your purpose, your calling, to hear if you veered left and or right when you should be going straight. Compassion does not erase your calling. And then the last thing is in the thrive. Choose one restorative act that you can actually finish. And that might be cooking a meal for yourself. You're not trying to start a new life. You're not trying to get a new degree. You're not doing any of those things. No new certs, none of that. Not a new launch. One small restorative act that you can actually finish. Because finishing something small rebuilds trust with yourself. So I'll sew, or I'll go cook a meal, or it's something small. And sometimes it feels like an uphill battle to do the smallest of things. But it is important for me to do that and train my brain to know, hey, I got you. Training my nervous system to know, I got you. You can trust me. I'm going to do these things. And then you just let those things get bigger and bigger as you have the bandwidth to do so. So we've defined what self compassion is for us. We've used self compassion to just kind of see how we want to integrate that into our everyday lives, into the foolery that is going on. I wrote in my journal recently about meeting the moment. And I had no idea what that meant. Also, I was like, girl, it's a lot of moments to meet. What moment is it? And I started praying about like what is the moment I'm supposed to be meeting? And honestly, I got distracted about which moment am I supposed to be meeting because there is a lot of moments. And really, once I sat down to think about it, it was never about which moment am I meeting. It was about the me who's meeting the moment. Um, and knowing that the me that's meeting the moment is the me that's supposed to be in the moment. All of my experiences, all of them, everything I've gone through up until now has prepared me for the moment. It doesn't always feel like I have all the tools, it doesn't feel like all the things, but we have to believe that when we are prepared to meet the moment, everything we've gone through, all the tools we have, all of our support, all of the things in our little tool stack have prepared us to meet the moment. And anything else that we need will be available to us as long as we are meeting the moment. That that was profound because I don't know that I really wanted to meet the moment. I wanted to go past the moment. I wanted to go rewind back before the moments. I wanted so many things, but to meet this moment. And in this moment is my gift. So I have to give myself enough compassion that allows me the space to meet the moment. I encourage you to one, define self compassion for yourself. Use that root framework to reflect, be open, see what support you need to be open to. What are the lies you need to overcome? And then identifying that one act that will allow you to thrive. And I want you to meet the moment, right? Using whatever bandwidth you have, you meet the moment. And in that moment, it'll allow you to be who and what and where you are called to be. All right, y'all. We are going to do our brown heart mindful moment. So if it's safe, place your feet on the floor, close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Y'all already know. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But place one hand on your chest. Do a slow inhale, longer exhale. Say quietly to yourself, I can meet the moment. I can care without carrying everything. I can choose compassion and my own humanity, and that's okay. Take one more breath. Exhale. Take another. Exhale. All right, y'all. Your brave thing this week can be as simple as this: be kind to yourself while you stay awake to the world. If this episode felt like it was reading your mail, all in your business, that's not an accident. This is the work that I do with people whose capacity has shifted, but your calling hasn't. If you're trying to lead yourself without losing yourself, you do not have to do that alone. I'm holding space through individual sessions and a small burnout support group, and you can learn more about it through the link in the show notes. But if this resonated with you, share the episode. Go back and read the Substack post that I put out on the 3rd on self compassion. I shared about my grandmother's 90th birthday. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Meet me back here on February 24th with a guest episode. And if you know someone who has been functioning but they're not okay, send the episode their way. As always, stay brave, stay rooted, stay rested, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.